Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? I want to confess to you my secret. I dated my brother-in-law's wife, and it was on the 23rd of December. We slept together. Then after she went to Botswana, things started to happen, and I ended up looking for people, and she died. I am a Zimbabwean man. Please keep me as anonymous. I have tried to pretend that this never happened, and it happened because it was her fault. So it started when we were at a family gathering. It was one of those December days when everyone was home. My wife's relatives, they were there. It was so nice. Children running around, music playing, and us as men, we were braaiing meat on the fire. Beer was flowing, and same old things that you do on Christmas. So my brother-in-law's wife, she was there. My brother-in-law, who is my wife's elder brother, he got married to this woman who was very beautiful, and she was very attractive. She had a body to die for, and I never looked at him in a lustful way until that time. I guess that maybe it was because of the alcohol that I had drank, but she was someone that I respected, and she also respected me. But there was one day when something shifted in the way that I looked at her. She was outside. She was cooking on the fire with other women. So she was bending over, and whenever she would bend over, moving between the pots, fanning the fire to keep it burning, even her laughter, but mostly when she would bend over, I would just feel my blood running, making me to feel things for him that are taboo, that you are never supposed to feel for your brother-in-law's wife. And each and every time when I would look at him, I would even get an erection. I noticed things about her body, about her beauty that I had never noticed before. But in doing all of these things, I made sure that some of the people that I was with braaiing at the fire as well never noticed me. She was a confident woman. She was calm, and she was always talking at all the times. I felt uncomfortable with all the erections that I had, and I told myself to stop looking at her. But the more that I fought with my body, the more that I wanted her. It was so tempting to look at her beautiful back. And later that evening, everyone was totally drunk, including my wife, her relatives, but I was not that much tipsy. Even her, she was just tipsy, but she knew what she was doing, and we started talking. It was just small talk, family talk, jokes about December and school fees the next year. Nothing wrong, nothing serious, but there was eye contact. It was too much of it. After that day, things changed slowly. She would look at me, and she would feel shameful of the way that we would look at each other. She would always look down, smiling, and we started greeting each other differently, because in our culture, if you are in a place where your wife's brother is there and his wife, you are not supposed to greet the wife by holding a hand, but we would greet each other like that when people were not looking, and she would hold me, even scratch me inside of my hand. And longer conversations, we would make naughty private jokes whenever we would see each other. And if we would find ourselves alone, we would do things to each other that were taboo. I kept telling myself that this was wrong. She finally gave me her phone numbers. She was a married woman, married to my brother-in-law. What was my wife going to say if she was going to find out? She was family. This was a line that was never supposed to be crossed in our culture. but we became so close emotional wise. Like the day when she said that she wanted to talk to me on WhatsApp, I could not risk speaking to him whilst my wife was around, because my wife, she will always take my phone whenever she felt like it, and I did not save the number. I had written it on a piece of paper and it was somewhere in my vehicle. I then told my wife that I wanted to go to the river so that I can wash my car. My wife then said, okay, it's fine. I went there with a few of her relatives, and whilst they were helping me, I was busy speaking with that woman on WhatsApp. She told me that she had a big problem in a marriage. I asked her what kind of a problem that she had. She said, your brother-in-law, there is something about him. It is a secret that I only found out the first day when I slept with him, but I love him. I said, tell me. And she told me, and she said that your brother-in-law, his manhood, it is so tiny, even shorter than my smallest finger, and I don't feel anything when he is sleeping with me. I am lonely in my marriage. I am frustrated sexually because I'm not getting the sex that satisfies me from my husband. We started to talk. We listened to each other, and she said that I was so comforting, and we started planning. We would meet in the bushes, we would make love, and our relationship grew. Me and my wife, we returned back to the country where we had been staying and working, and she and her husband went to Botswana. She then started fighting with me because I had told her that I wanted to marry him, but she was someone that had no patience at all, and she was not patient. I would tell her not to call me sometimes when I was at home, but she will end up calling, fighting with me, telling me that she wanted me to announce it to the world that I was now her boyfriend. She wanted to become my second wife, and I said, yes, you're going to become my second wife, but let us take things slowly. She would fight with me at all the times. She then moved by force from the country where she was staying with her husband, and she came to the country where we are staying. One thing that I noticed about her was that she refused to show me her passport. It was a friend who told me that she had a boyfriend in the same country where I was staying. She had been dating this man. That was why she did not want to show me her passport, because I was going to see the stamps that were on her passport. So we started fighting, and she was dating a lot of men because she had such a great body that any man would lust after her, and she had no control. Any guy that would say, I want you, she would say that as long as you have money, I want you back. So it was very hurtful. At the same time, she was destroying my marriage. She wanted my wife to know. I then sat down and I said, all of the assets that I do have in this country, they belong to my wife because we registered almost everything in her name. If my wife finds out, then I am done. This woman, she is just a prostitute who pretends to love me. I am done if this woman finds out that I slept with her brother's wife. I then spoke with another guy whom she had also had, and we organized. That woman, my brother, she was shot and she died, and I was part of that plan. So most of the people, they just said that she died because she was double-crossing a lot of men. She would ask money from men, and she will not do as she had promised those men, or after borrowing her money, you find out that she has several girlfriends. And I even told her that this country that you are now staying in, it is dangerous. Stop dating all of these men that you are dating and just begging money from all of these men, and a lot of money that she used to get from these rich guys, and then you dump the guy. After that, someone is going to get you killed. And indeed it happened. But to tell you the truth, it was my plan. I was the one that masterminded her death because I wanted to tie all the loose ends. I did not want to risk the empire that I built simply because this woman, she can't keep her pants on. She always removes the panties that she will be wearing for any man, and yet she wanted me to tell my wife that I had been sleeping with her. She wanted everyone to know, yet she was sleeping with men left, right and center. And this is what I did. I know what I did was wrong, but I had to do it to save my marriage, to save my wife from a heartbreak. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with our brother in the comment section.